Ladies and gentlemen, first, as the two originators of the concept of the World Water Council and making it established, let me first congratulate World Water Council that the focus of the next forum would be on solutions. We have had many meetings, what I call SOS. We go to the meetings and we hear the same old stuff. So this is good that the focus would be on solutions. Second, I'm very pleased that this regional area is now thinking of making Montpellier a water knowledge hub. This is very important because of its location within Europe and proximity to MENA countries. In my view, it will play a very seminal role in improving water management in this area. So I congratulate, and I just hope that this is just the beginning of the process, not the one and only effort in this area. Governance. Let me share with you first a little skepticism. If you're sitting in this room in 1990s, you wouldn't have heard anything about governance. Everyone would have been talking about sustainable water development. Every few minutes, you'd be hearing sustainable water development, if you're in 1990s. If you're in this room, and if there was a similar meeting in the early 2000s, you wouldn't be hearing sustainable water development anymore. You'd be hearing integrated water resources management, a concept that has never been operationalized for 30 years. That was the flavor of the day. In the first 3 World Water Forums, the word governance did not even mention. Forget about the paper. It was not even mentioned. Now, governance is the flavor of the day. That doesn't mean it is wrong, because the national, international organization is putting a lot of money in governance. So to the extent you can milk the system to get some money to improve your water research activities, good luck to you. I would also submit, if you're in this room in 2020, I don't know what the next bandwagon will be, but it surely won't be water governance. But that is the nature of human beings. Our attention can focus on a popular thing for a limited period. We don't succeed, we just move. So when I talk about water governance, as an old-fashioned scientist come engineer, I mean management. Water management is no different than sustainable water development, no different than integrated water resources management, which is a tool, or governance. So when I talk about water management, it makes sense. The point I want to make are very simple. Water management is not a rocket science. We know the answers, we know how to do it. It's not the lack of money, it's not the lack of technology, it's not the lack of management. It's we, the people, we do not do that. How many of you know that when you talk of water governance and the country's governance, take Cambodia, which in the Transparency International's list of corruption perception index, which is widely accepted as one of the indicators of water governance, is 165 in the list, lower than even Zimbabwe. Yet, Phnom Penh, the capital of Cambodia, has a water supply system, very few of you may know, which is better than, by all the indicators, by most of the indicators, better than London, which is a private sector, only private sector and privatized company groups over 2 decades, than Los Angeles or Chicago. They have it's a public sector company doing remarkable work in a remarkably corrupt country. It's not the lack of money. Cambodia doesn't have the money. Cambodia doesn't have the expertise. Cambodia doesn't have the management expertise. And yet, they have succeeded. Why? Very simple. You have a person who is dedicated, who is there for a long time. Why does not countries like India and Mexico can have good water governance? Very simple case. Nothing to do with technology, nothing to do with money, nothing to do with administrative or management expertise. The average state of an Indian water utility manager is 30 months. And the manager knows nothing about water, nothing about management. He happens to be an Indian administrative service officer who is jumped to head of a major utility. Tomorrow he might go to animal husbandry, day after tomorrow he might go to finance. So he has no idea. Why in countries like Mexico? Mexico is even much shorter. The head of a water utility manager, average stay is 18 months. And again, the main reason of the head of the utility is closeness to the elected mayor. You cannot run a utility, you cannot govern a utility under those conditions. So the problems are not technological, problems are not money. There is no, I can take a back of an envelope and argue with any one of you that any city, anywhere in the world, more than 100,000 population, can have 24-hour water supply which can be drank straight from the tap, and you don't need any bottle there to drink. Either Congo or Thailand or India or Bangladesh or Mexico. We don't need them. And why we don't do it? Because again, the vested interest, apathy, the public doesn't want it, irrespective of saying. Otherwise they were thrown out the politicians long time ago. The professions makes umpteen excuses and people suffer. And until and unless people say that we really want this, and if you don't, you politician, if you don't give me this, I'm going to throw it out next election. Then you'll see it will concentrate their mind. And this is not happening, I don't see it's happening. Look at Singapore, and my last point, look at Singapore. In 1965, it had one of the worst water management, urban water management in the whole world. In 10 years, it improved to such an extent that it is better than Paris, better than London, better than any other place I can think of. And in 10 years, Singapore went from, in the area of urban water management, it went from third world country to better than for most vast majority of the first world country. So we have success stories, we have solutions, but we don't look at it. We just give a lot of excuses for status quo. Finally, last year in Singapore, we had a big meeting, I should say big, we had an important meeting on water governance. Those of you who are interested, we have a book on this, on improving water policy and governance. I can give you the list. There are 2 papers here. 3 papers here, you might want to look at it. One is Future of Water Governance by myself and Dr. Tortajada, which goes into what is governance and why it will be very difficult to operationalize this concept. And the second paper, which Dr. Cecilia Tortajada, second and third paper, as a rapporteur said, what are some of the critical issues of water governance? And the third paper by her again, what are the research agenda, priority research agenda in the area of water governance. So thank you with that. Let me close. Thank you very much.
Thank you.